calling in all entrepreneurs, lightworkers, starseeds who are here ready to make impact, more money on this earth, and shift to the fifth dimension. Are you ready to ascend?
Beautiful. So, fam, I am so fucking excited. My bestie, and number one property coach in Australia is here today joining us on the Ascension Codes podcast. Welcome back, guys. I have the most incredible fucking human inspiration walking fucking I love you so much. It wasn't really great intro, was it? But anyway, I love it. Good. I love you guys. This is Olivia Ward. She's reached top 1%
of property investors
in
my 20s.
In her 20s.
Whilst only being a call centre worker,
only being a call centre worker, by the way. And do not fucking forget it, guys. She's fucking incredible. So she's going to come today. We're going to talk all about investment. We're going to talk all about the Ascension journey, all about wealth, money, time, all of the fucking cool things. So for those of you who don't know you, babes, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. I love you. You're so welcome. Please tell these beautiful humans, who are you and what do you do?
Ooh, okay. So, hi everyone.
Hi.
I am Olivia.
I'm Olivia.
Natalie and I basically became besties a few months ago in where was it? In Bali, wasn't it? Yeah. And I went there because I was like, I am Australia's number one property coach, but I fucking need to level up my stuff, man.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
yeah. So, essentially, I just went throughout my 20s building wealth outside of my 9-to-5 job. And then I was looking around realizing, oh my God, I reached the top 1% of property investors in my 20s.
Fucking congrats, babe. Do you know what? Congratulations. Like, that's massive.
Thanks.
I didn't actually know that.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh my God, yeah, you did.
And I do contribute content and we talk all the time, but I don't know, that's massive. What a cool stat.
Very, very cool stat.
You're cool.
And so then I thought, I got to teach other people this stuff.
You got to teach other people this shit. Yeah.
Once you know, like a really cool niche or hack to something in life, I think you just got to share it.
And also, guys, like, obviously we're really, 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 really close friends, best friends, yep. And the thing that I love about you the most is that you're the embodiment of what you preach. Ooh. And you're so passionate about this work. And like even last week I was sick and we were FaceTiming in bed. She's like, babe, I'm going to send you this video while you're in bed about property. I was like, babe, send it over. So I'm sick in bed and we're on FaceTime and I'm watching property videos that she's created because you genuinely are doing this because you fucking want to help the humans break out of the matrix. Like, it's so cool.
100%. It's all what I do it for. Yeah. And it's so funny because like the real reason why I do this is to help people stop swapping their time for money so they can have passive income streams so that once you do that, you can actually think bigger and larger than yourself and you have infinite amount of money around you. You stop actually thinking about your own needs and then you can actually give back more. And I think, fuck, man, we are literally born, if you're lucky enough to be born into this country or migrate here, literally one of the top countries in the world. Yeah. First world countries in the world. Like, come on, guys. We can do more than what we're doing.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? But most people just don't understand how to even get there.
And to leverage it. You love talking about leverage. So I want to go into this actually. So tell people, what specifically do you do in your business? Obviously you're a property coach, but what specifically do you sell? How do you help other humans? Like what is it that you can tell my audience, these beautiful people that are listening, like what you actually do? Okay,
cool. So essentially what I do is I teach people how to build a basic cash flowing property portfolio.
Cool.
For the average Australian, right?
Cool.
So I don't necessarily target the existing rich people or really high net worth business owners because there's not much strategy behind that when you've got a really...
You're going to say, fuck that.
Multi-million-dollar business, right? It's much easier. But what about the average Australian who's actually trying to, get by? And anyway, and so what I realised is there's all these mum and dads out there who have a home, who have equity already in a home and they have no idea that existing equity, which is what I call dead money. It's dead money.
Wow.
So if you own a home, let's just say...
And you own a home and you're listening, fucking message Liv, by the way.
If you own a home and you're listening and you've got equity in there, you've already got the funds to fucking start building an empire.
Wow.
Already. And you don't need your own money.
So cool.
Yeah, right? And so, what was the original question? I even forgot.
What do you actually do?
Yes. Okay, cool. So essentially I just teach people how to leverage existing money and use the bank's money, not your money, somebody else's money, put it into another machine over here to slowly build a very safe portfolio. Well, what I do is like what I like to teach people is how to get the highest ROI on life.
Yeah, baby.
Right?
Yeah, baby.
Right? How can we make
That's what
sure?
I love about you, man. You're always having fun. You're always doing cool shit.
Yeah.
Liv is a cool human, guys. Follow her on
guys.
social media. She's a cool fucking human.
But also business owners, right? Business owners also just like hustling in the background. A lot of them obsessed with their business, very active in business, which is great. And I love that. But then how else can we build something passive on the outside that doesn't really distract you from what you genuinely love in business as well?
Yeah, totally.
And I noticed that when I started to become a coach, too many active business owners just like hustling.
Totally. And I love that. And like we've spoken so many times about the fact that this year, guys, I've been hustling. You know that I've been hustling. I've been building this empire. And then Liv keeps saying like, babe, you need something more passive. Obviously, I've got the VA agency that does things in the background, but Liv is actually now helping me. We had a conversation last week and I've started putting money aside because next year I'm going to buy a property when my business turns 2. And then we're going to build a portfolio, all to the thanks of Liv. So she's going to be my coach in future. And I'm going to be able to do this as well on the back end. This is like one thing that I really wanted to bring in. I love spiritual people. However, there's this like myth or this common trait that a lot of spiritual people have that they don't want to be banked or they don't want to make a lot of money. And we're two very, very, very spiritual people that actually want to be so wealthy. We always talk about, like friendship-wise, guys, we always talk about the fact that we're both going to have yachts and our yachts are going to have slides that are going to go into the water so that we can hang out together. Now, like, we talk about this shit. We've actually got it in our 5-year plan. We've also got in our 5-year plan that we're going to have that, like, private jet. Like, this is thing that's in our awareness that we can do together. There's like us and a couple of other girlfriends that are earning, like creating wealth, and we're going to have this lifestyle. And like, for me, I don't know about you, but for me at the start of the year when I started doing these massive months, I was like, I really want soul sisters that are fun, that are silly, that are impacting the world, that also want to get fucking rich.
Yes.
And like when we met each other, I was like, I want to be so rich. You're like, I want to be so rich. I was like, we're going to be so rich. And then we were like creating and manifesting all of the things that we want to achieve together. And I'm like, fuck, man. We're like, our souls are so connected, eh?
Amen. They are.
So much.
So, and I'll never forget that night when we were sitting at the dinner table and we're like, imagine just like sitting on the yacht and we're talking about all of the different projects around the world that we can do. It's like, oh, what country are you going to next? What project are you fixing up next, right? Yeah, my yacht. Oh, is your yacht going to be, you've got to make sure it's large enough for my helicopter to land.
Yeah.
Deliver me, right, baby?
Oh my God.
Right?
And then I was like, dude, I'm going to have a Lamborghini. She's like, oh my God, pick me up in your Lamborghini. I was like, fucking oath. So it's like, having friends that are just as silly and as wild as you, and also too, like, I know in my soul that you're going to have your yacht. Like, I just know it. Like, I know that you're going to have that because you're already so successful and you've built the credibility. And so I want to circle back to that. Liv, tell my audience about some of the amazing things about property.
Oh, okay, cool.
Tell us some awesome stuff about property because I'm new to learning about this stuff. So teach me. I mean, I know we've had 100 million conversations and I'm like, what about this? What about this? But tell my audience, like, what are some cool things about property?
Okay.
Why do you love it so much?
I love it because one, it's a set and forget. Like you can just
set and forget.
Set and forget, right?
Love it.
So it doesn't have to be that active if you choose the right strategy. Because in Australia, we're so lucky. Property just fucking grows so quickly. We have we are literally one of the most highest capital growth property countries in the world.
Yeah, Australia.
Right? Yes, right. Did you know that we have the highest amount of millionaires migrating to Australia in the world?
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
So most amount of global millionaires move to Australia.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Number 1.
Wow.
Yep, cool, right? So what happens is that directly goes into there. So how cool is it that I can build an entire property portfolio using 0 of my own money from the second property onwards?
Fucking amazing. So it's all really they need to do to get started. This is what I'm doing, guys, is literally putting money aside. I call it growing. I don't like to call it saving. So I'm growing money in a bank account that's ready for when it's peaked. And I'm just going to say, Liv, what do I do now? And then Liv's going to help me.
Boom. Yep.
Boom.
And then all you do is it's just the first one.
Yep.
Truth be told, I've only ever put $42,000 of my own money. That was it, my first property.
Oh my
I've never
God.
put a cent of my own money.
Oh
any other
my
property from then
God. You're
onwards.
fucking amazing. You are amazing.
Right?
Woman.
Because that's cause leverage. We're not taught this in school, right? We're not taught that you can use somebody else's money. And the banks love real estate in Australia too. That's why they give us all the money to do the deal. So I've zero of my own money. That just makes me fucking smart, man.
Yeah, it makes you fucking smart.
It makes you bloody smart when you understand leverage. Right. And then when the property grows in value, how cool is this?
Tell me.
I get all of the benefits off of somebody else's money being in the game.
Mate.
So hang on. So I worked out to get the bank to give me money for a deal.
Yeah.
And then I make all of the profit from the profit gains, from the cash flow, from the tax deductions. Wow. And then on top of that, it's beating inflation. Actually, inflation's the real scam that I'm actually trying to beat.
Now, what does inflation mean?
Okay. So inflation basically means that the purchasing power of your money is becoming less and less and less.
Right.
So, for example, say I wanted to buy this glass of water. How much is a fucking bottle of water these days? $5.
$5, yeah.
Right, let's just call it $5, right? So it's not, and they used to be what, $1, right?
Yeah, yep.
So it's not that became more expensive. It was that the amount of money you had to use, you had to cough up more of it because they know who's selling it to you. You've got more of it. And so that's why inflation is when they print money.
Right.
Right?
I wonder how much they print a year. Do you know?
Okay, so it changes every year, so it's not a certain amount.
Great. I love that you know this.
So every single...
Teach me, Liv.
Okay, you want to know?
Yeah,
All right,
babe.
So on average, we have a recession every 7 to 10 years. And when we have a recession, they're like, fuck, we don't want the shit to crash on our dime.
On our
So
dime,
what we're going to do is we're going to print more money, which is just a Band-Aid option on top of a really bad infection, right? And then what happens is every single time that this recession or something is about to spruce up, they've got to print more and more and more the last time. So therefore, when they print it, there's more in circulation. So what happens is you feel like, as the average person, you feel like you're getting poorer, which is literally true.
Totally.
Is literally true.
Except for us. We're getting richer.
Except for us, right?
And I hope you guys too.
Unless for those who have businesses, who have different revenue streams who can control their money, and that which stays on top of inflation, or those who have investors who have assets which go up.
Right.
When they print more money, when you don't have assets or business that we can control that, what happens is your purchasing power goes down and down and down. But for me, when they print more money, guess what happens? 2 birds with 1 stone. The value of my properties go up.
Wow.
Because there's just more money in circulation, and my cash flow goes up.
Yeah, nice.
On those rents too, right?
Great.
So that means I'm beating inflation. And if you can just beat inflation, that's the main game of money actually to beat. To start off with is inflation.
Great. So when is the best time to buy property?
Yesterday, when you can.
My dad's always said that to me. The best time is yesterday. I'm like, okay, Dad, thank you.
Literally is. Because it's all a game of just beating inflation and compounding.
Yeah.
Once you really understand those two things. So people ask me, should I buy what area, but is now a good time? Don't look at that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because there's buyers agents who have AI who can identify.
Fucking oath
There's
they do. Of course
always
they do.
somewhere to buy.
There's always somewhere to buy.
It always is.
And AI. Man, AI is on fucking everything now, eh?
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that I'm talking to is like, oh, AI has that. Oh, AI's done this. AI's done that. I'm like, motherfucker, AI's taken over the world. Why?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a new world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So, babe, tell me about business owners and lending.
Okay. So, this is an interesting story. I actually really like this topic. Okay. So,
tell me more.
There is this myth that lending is harder for business owners.
Right.
I don't believe it's harder. I just believe it's different.
Yes.
And we don't talk about it.
Yeah,
that
right.
much. And it makes sense because you know why? Guess who makes up the terms and conditions for lending? It's the corporate employees.
Right.
The guys who work for the banks. They're employees. So, of course, the loans and stuff are more structured towards them.
Right.
But in saying that, obviously, when you're lending to a business owner, what is it? 95% of business owners or something can't get past 5 years. So, of course, we look a little bit more riskier on paper. That would make sense.
We're risky business, guys.
We are risky business. But
risky business.
Oi. But putting that aside, okay, let's give something to the listeners.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner listening to this and you're like, fuck, I want to get started. Like, where do I even start?
Yes.
So a couple of things that I've spoken to even about with you, Nat, as well.
Yeah,
Number one is you need to work with your broker and your accountant to make sure that you're paying yourself enough on paper.
Yeah, guys, I just literally implemented this when you told me a few weeks ago.
Boom, good girl.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure you're paying yourself to borrow money, but not too much.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Say you're making $1 million in profit, right? For the whole entire year. You don't want to pay yourself that much. Fuck, you don't need to, right?
Right.
But maybe paying yourself 20, 30 grand a year is also not enough. So you need to work with your broker to say, hey, Mr. Broker, how much do I need to pay myself in order to be able to borrow, say, $400,000?
Yeah.
Right?
And guys, like the reason she's laughing is because, I shit you not, I was paying myself $50K a year. And I was like, it's not actually that much money, is it? She's like, no, Give yourself 80 grand a year. I was like, I could probably do
A little
that.
bit more. But it's a good problem to have, right? Because
Hey, it's a great problem to have.
which is what I love. As business owners, we can control our numbers. We
Yeah.
can say to our accountant, hey, actually, for this next financial year, I need to pay myself this so I can borrow money.
Yep.
So I'm forcing my broker and my accountant to communicate.
To communicate, yeah,
to
great.
talk to each other, right? They're my team.
Great, they're a team.
Yeah, that's your job,
Yeah,
right?
go on.
Building a property portfolio is the same as being a business owner, right?
Right.
Is your job is to unblock the people that you have on your team. Get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah, nice.
But just bring them together and unblock them.
I love this.
Yes, high five. Oh, yeah.
It's a bit hard with these microphones. Better one, yeah. What is one of your most favouriteest things about property?
I also love that I can control it. Right?
Okay. Tell us more about that.
Okay, so in a way that I want to control the numbers. Right? Meaning I want to be able to control the performance of it, right? Now, it's not to put down anyone in chairs. Do you know what the funny thing is, actually, when it comes to property, is that I actually don't need to convince anyone about how good property is, because in Australia,
Everyone already knows.
Everyone already just knows that it's safe.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll find a lot of people in the share industry are constantly going up and trying to prove why
They have to
shares is
overcome
okay.
objections all the time, right?
Correct. I don't have to. Property
have
just
to.
sells itself. Thank you.
Fuck. No
just want-
way. It's awesome. Amazing.
It's actually, in the property industry, the thing that we struggle with is trying to find someone that we trust, because it's full of like dodgy car salesmen rocking up in their Lamborghinis
we
and
hate
their
that.
suits trying to sell
And that's
us a plan
also
property.
why you do so well, because
Yeah.
you're just so authentically you. It's one of
you.
the things I fucking love about you the most.
Thanks,
yeah,
yeah.
you're the best.
So one of the only, I think as far as I know, I think I'm the only property coach in Australia, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And a female in a male dominant industry.
Yeah, girl.
So anyway, so controlling the asset, right?
Yes.
I love that I can control the numbers, meaning that I can, if I wanted to do a small cosmetic renovation, add on a granny flat, do a subdivision, I can do that to any one of my properties,
Right.
which means I can control, if you look at it as a business, I can control the cash flow and I can control the capital growth,
Right.
no matter what I do. So right now I can go into my whole entire portfolio and say, you know what, fuck, let's just say I'm like, you know what, I want to get married tomorrow. I want 100 grand for a wedding, just chuck it down on a wedding. Guess what I can do? And just go into one of my properties, pull out $20,000 in equity, which is not my money, it's the bank's money, and go in, do a small cosmetic renovation, and then uplift it to 150 grand worth of value, and then say, now bank, give me that money back.
And no one knows this, hey.
People in the
Like,
property industry
people in the property
know
industry
it, but
know
unless you like to live and breathe it, you don't really know how to.
Wow. And so when you teach people, do you teach them this?
Yeah, I teach them this sort of stuff. Most of the stuff at the start is just teaching people about how to get the bank to give you money, to be honest with you. So it's the financing side, which is the biggest struggle. But then there's the management side of it then onwards. It's all good to be able to buy a property, but how the fuck do you make it passive so that it doesn't impact your business? Because one of the biggest problems that people have is they're like, oh, I don't want to get into property because I'll have to manage it. I'm like, bro, why are you managing it, man? That's what property managers are for.
Yes.
You outsource it to them. It should be as simple as property manager sends you a bill and says, hey, you need to fix this thing. You just it's just an invoice. Guys, don't
Yeah.
have a
So
complicated-
easy. Come on, guys.
Come on.
Get your team to do the work for you. That's why you are paying them.
Yes.
Amazing. So, why should spiritual individuals look at investing in the property matrix right now?
Because it is literally designed for rich people, and it is designed for you to make a lot of money very quickly.
Fuck yeah.
90% of millionaires are made from real estate.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
And then what is it? 95% of billionaires are made from businesses. So how cool would it be if you're in both categories?
Yeah.
And then you were able to have your complete freedom to then impact the rest of the world around you because you have a gift to share. You can't be sharing that gift
Yep.
on scale when you are actively trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, totally.
You just can't do it.
Yep. Because you're in that that scarcity, that lack, right? When you actually come more into, okay, we've got some cash flow, we've got some money that we can we're building a bigger life. Like you energetically feel better, right?
100%. So there's 3 levels to what I believe financial freedom.
Yeah.
Level 1 is what I call financial confidence.
Yep.
Level 2, financial security. And then level 3 is true financial freedom.
Nice.
So what do each of those levels mean? Level 1 is like, do I fix the confidence? Do I feel confident that if I was to, I don't know, lose my job tomorrow and my business was to go down, do I feel confident within myself that I know how to build back, that I know how to go get another job or start up another business? That's confidence. Tick, right?
Tick.
And the next level, this is the level that I really want to get everyone to.
Yep.
I want to get everyone to the point where they feel secure,
Yeah.
which means, and I reached that in 2021 for myself.
Yep.
What that means is it's a feeling.
Yeah.
And this feeling is where I'm like, fuck, I've done enough for what the immediate needs were or are that you need to meet. So for me, it was I needed security to know that in 20 years from now, when I'm old, because I was always worried about being old.
We really?
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
How did they come in?
Oh, okay. So this is going through
side story.
Side story. Pardon?
I want to go into that.
Okay, cool. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
So this is a cool story.
Yeah, okay.
So number one, it came from...
Love this shit.
Oh, I fucking love it. I think that a really big awakening I had was when I was 19.
Yep. My next question was going to be, tell me about your spiritual awakening. So just tie it all in.
Okay,
great. Wait, should we go back to the three, finish the three things and then we'll go into that.
This is the thing with us entrepreneurs.
I know.
Like, I want to talk about all this cool value. Yeah. Okay, so number one is confidence.
Yep.
Number two is security. Security that whatever the immediate thing is that you needed to meet, the immediate goal to make you feel comfortable and safe, that you've done enough, and now you can go on and do the rest of your life with however it is that you want to do. So most people come to me and say, Liv, I want to build a portfolio so I can have cash flow. And then I go deep. I'm like, what the fuck is this cash flow for? What are you going to do when you roll out of bed? Tell me. What is that why, right? And then most people say it's I want to be able to raise my children better because, you know, they're going to be the next
Always comes down to love, doesn't it? Love and connection, I reckon.
Love and connection, you're right. And they also tell me, same sort of thing, I want to give, I want to do some sort of charity work.
Impact,
right?
Love, connection, impact.
Boom. And so...
Number three?
And then number three is where you have true financial freedom, which is you have an abundance of cash flow literally for your entire life.
Nice.
Right?
Which is what you're doing with property. Literally, like a few weeks ago, I remember when you called me and you're like, oh my God, this is like, now I realize that I've now got the money.
Yeah.
Remember you had that big epiphany on the Monday?
Yep, I did.
The big epiphany.
Yep, I did. I was like, this is enough. I've just got to fucking now do more of what I'm really good at over here, which is the compounding of money.
Yeah, you've got the money. You're fucking great. You're so great. Okay, so tell us about...
Okay.
Are you scared of dying when you're older? Or are you scared of getting old?
Okay, so for all these coaches out there who are just like, here's her triggers and here are all of her.
These are her wounds. These are her shadows.
These are all my shadows. So I did shadow work when I was like 21.
Yeah, good girl.
So anyway, but when I was 19, I actually worked with my first kinesiologist who was like, okay, all right, sweetie, so you've got a lot going on here with the word control. And I was like, oh, yep, I'm definitely a control freak about the future of me, right? I was a rebel when I was a kid. I don't know if I've told you this, but I was in and out of court system when I was such a naughty kid. I was such a naughty kid.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
Man, I was so naughty as well. We would have been, of course, our souls would have been like naughty little motherfuckers together.
Yeah.
Creating ruckus, weren't you? Your little ruckus.
I was just
rebellious.
I was such a rebellion teenager. I just hated being told what to do.
Yeah.
So that's where the premise came from. Is like, I don't want to be told what to do, right? And anyway, so then I was trying to become a nurse when I was 19. Good God, that was a journey of discovery. Yeah. So I'm sitting there during my placement feeding these old people, spoon feeding them, right, in their 90s. And I just remember thinking, what the fuck is the purpose of life? I don't want to end up like this. But also when I was working there, what happens when you get to meet old people all day is I was asking them questions about what was the best part about their lives.
Yeah.
And what was the number one thing that they all told me to do?
Spend more time with people you love.
Correct.
Knew it.
Right?
Yeah.
Having time, human connection, giving back.
Yeah.
Be present, right?
That's a beautiful thing your soul chose to do, to show you.
Yeah.
Like,
and
your
I had
soul's
been
clever.
opened at that point, right?
Yeah. Thank you, soul.
Thank you.
Thank you, soul.
Fuck, guys.
Fuck yeah. Fucking love you.
So that's what happened. So it was 19. That was a big pivotal moment.
Yeah.
So then I actually went to one whole extreme. Yeah. I actually went on to realestate.com. Not real estate. What's it called?
Domain.com.
Nowhere. Adrenaline.com.
Adrenaline! I used to fucking buy heaps of shit off there too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Me too.
My brother's birthday, Dad's birthdays was like adrenaline.com, no worries.
I love that thing, right? Because you get the experiences. Yes. So then I went to one opposite end of the scale.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to have a challenge.
We should do something fucked up together. We should do something adrenaline-ish together.
Yeah,
we said that actually at Gary Vee. We were going to say that.
Gary Vee.
We
haven't done it. We said we're going to do one thing per month or something.
Yeah. With so many tangents here, guys. Sorry.
So many. So anyway, so I'm 19 and I'm like, what's the purpose of life? So I set myself a challenge of how can I finish, I think it was 30, I wanted to achieve 30 things before I was 30, right? But then one of those things was, how do I finish off everything on adrenaline.com? And so I literally completed everything on adrenaline.com by the age of like 22. I went for hard for like 2 or 3 years or something.
How much money did you spend on them?
Everything. My whole entire wage went to it. For like 2 or 3 years.
You never told me this.
Yeah.
You are so cool, man. Okay, what
loved
was
it.
the wildest thing you did?
Okay, I became a stunt driver.
What the? Actually, no, I did know that. I did know that.
I think
You
you
did tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, okay.
Cool.
That was also why I was in a lot of court system because I had to do with driving. So I was like I was a rev head. I love the adrenaline, like whatever. And I
Okay,
was,
wait. Have you been on a hot air balloon?
Yes, but that wasn't. I
it
have only
cool?
recently,
No.
but that wasn't classified in my mind. I was like, this isn't an adrenaline. So it was the only thing I didn't do.
Here I
during that
am.
time.
I'm like, I do not want to go on a hot air balloon. It would scare
Beautiful.
the fuck out of me.
No, it's so
It
beautiful.
would have been not scary. I would have scared that I was going to fall out of the basket.
Nah,
Nah.
it's so big. You feel
Or
so
scared
healthy.
that my hair's going to burn from the flames.
Nah, it's beautiful. You got to do
Wow.
it. But it was
Okay.
more. That was a more romantic thing, and I wanted
Oh,
to find a
cute.
beautiful partner to do that with, which I did.
Cute. Oh, Tara, we love Tara. Shout out to Tara.
Love you, babe.
Love that.
So I did everything on adrenaline.com, and I was like, and now what's the purpose of life? I've done everything. I've done all the cool adrenaline shit. Like, it literally jumped off a skyscraping thing in Thailand. This rusty, and I was like, I would never do that now. So I probably nearly died. I also jumped off, bungee jumped off a mountain in New Zealand, and the guy was like, whatever you do, don't stop running, right, as you're jumping off the cliff
Oh, right.
to like fly. And I fucking stopped running. And then and you just see the thing go down, and my partner was like, is she dying? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is hectic.
So anyway, supportive of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love this story.
Yeah, great. Tell us everything.
So then I was like, okay, so then what's the point? So I've gone from one end of the scale, which is like live life, to the extreme.
Yeah, the adrenaline extreme.
The adrenaline extreme.
Adrenaline.com. We're not working for them, by the way.
We are not. This is not sponsored by them, but also a great website. And then the other extreme was then I got into the property industry where I was watching everyone like hustle and grind and not live.
Yeah,
And then that's where
fuck
my whole entire premise of what I believe is how do we get the highest ROI on life.
that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You're such a cool kid, man.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
So,
Okay, I really want to go back into, I'm now more interested about adrenaline.com. What other cool shit did you do?
I literally did everything except for the hot air balloon and the
Okay, any crocodiles or sharks or like anything like that? Adrenaline-y?
No, because I wasn't really adrenaline. I liked sky stuff.
Okay, what's
car stuff, fast, speedy stuff is what was my
cool.
obsession.
Right.
Was the thrill, was the
Well,
kick that I was...
can we go and can we hire a car and can you stunt drive me?
Oh, absolutely.
Is that a
yeah.
thing?
Yeah. So I did. So I practiced on like the mini little Coopers and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Oh
So
my
I like
God,
learned how to
cute.
jump off bridges and stuff like that. Was really cool, through fire and stuff. So that was really cool.
Wow, did
I
videos
got
of
like a
this?
little certificate. I did it. This is like 10 years ago, and I used to do it on
Before
my own.
phones,
Yeah, before phones and stuff.
Before phones were cool. Now you're born
and-
with a phone in your hand.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I just liked that adrenaline,
Mm-hmm.
but now my new adrenaline is like things like I like investing in weird businesses and investing in weird stuff where I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to go, but like, I just really want to invest in this person. So that's my new.
What was the last thing you invested in that you were like, fuck, I don't know if this is going to go thing?
The last thing was, this is so cool. I'm definitely not sponsored by this company, but anyway, it's a fucking epic ass company in Australia.
Yeah, we're here
It's a
now.
company called Wonder.
Okay.
Wanderer or Wonder. So what they do is they have pods. So they create pods all in like regional areas that are off-grid pods for you to go. It's 5-star off-grid podding. So you can go hire it, go completely
Whenever you
off-grid, wherever you want. So there's only 2 in Australia right now.
Right.
They're like full luxe life.
That's so cool. Can we go?
5-star
Like, is that a
yeah,
thing?
absolutely. They're real romantic type of things though too. If you want to get off in the grid, so you gotta, or go by yourself, like you're at the hot spa.
Oh, yeah.
So what they do is they find heaps of people, like people who have large land, scenic sort of areas, farmland that are completely off grid but 5-star and just like really luxe for you to just get away, because that's what we're all craving these days, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the last things I
That's
just
cool, babe. I love this for you. So tell us about your ascension process, your spiritual awakening.
Whoa.
I know there's lots of layers to it.
Yeah, there is. I think there's a bunch of mini little events that happened in my early 20s.
Yeah.
One of those is where I realised the scam of like money and inflation.
Right.
So what I was doing is I was watching one of my mentors, and he was talking about telling people about how to win the game of Monopoly.
Right.
And he used to be interviewed on all of the new big news channels, Channel 7, 9, 10, whatever. And because I followed him everything on social media, and I just adored this guy because he was all the values that I'd preached.
Cool.
And he would literally wear thongs to the interviews.
Love it.
To news channel. Could you
Love
imagine rocking up to a Channel 10 or 9 newsroom, and he's the only guy who's been like, I refuse to wear shoes. I'm here in my thongs. I ain't wearing a suit.
Yeah,
I love this guy.
I love this guy.
him.
Yeah.
And then he had this battle or debate. If you've ever watched Sunrise back in the day, Koshi,
No.
No, okay. One of the TV news presenters, right? He ends up having this massive debate with this guy, Koshi, right? And they were like, and you could see the behind the scenes where they're telling him, you can't say that. You can't tell people the real hacks of how to actually do this property investing. We don't want to hear it. And I was like,
Fuck.
at that point in moment, I was like,
News is a program.
whatever reads bleeds, right?
Right.
And I was like, this world is just full of indoctrination.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder that we're not taught about this wealth building thing.
Fuck yeah.
And when I learned, and then I then studied inflation, like how the big scam of actually who controls money and blah, blah, blah. When I delved into that through 2017, 2019, I was like, I went hardcore for like 2 years,
cool.
just like
in the conspiracy
obsessed.
hole, like different
Correct.
rabbit holes. Nice.
Yeah, learning all about like laddering up to who controls the money. And I was like, okay, cool. So we're in one big simulation.
Fucked. Yeah.
How can I like pull people out of the simulation, but slowly, because I don't want to look like a conspiracy theorist or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because people are going to think you're a little bit cuckoo at the start,
Babe,
but slowly they start
Have
to
you met
open
me?
up.
I'm the most cuckooest
I
of
know.
cuckooest, mate.
We'll talk about flat earth another day.
She loves flat earth, guys. It's the whole thing.
It's not round. Is it flat? I don't know. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, how can I slowly just pull people out of the matrix, which I personally believe is the lie we've been sold about swapping your time for money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, the easiest way to do that is like property, right? Because people feel safe with it. I don't even have to sell them into it.
I
Like
love
they just come to
this.
me.
I love this.
They know it. I ask every one of my interviews, why do you want to invest in property over like shares? And they just know it. The first thing they say is it's safe.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. That was one of the big awakenings, was watching the old people at 19. And I was like, oh my God, what is the purpose of life? Then at like 23, 24, watching my mentor be told, no, you can't say this on news channels.
That's wild, man.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then learning a little bit older when I was 25, 26, learning about who really controls the money. And I was like, this is all fucked up. But how can we make the best of how beautiful this world is and experience it?
Yeah.
And you can experience it more when you don't have to swap out time for money. So
Yeah, nice, babe.
a couple of those things. And then my next big spiritual awakening
Yes. Tell us the woo-woo.
was the first time that my guides, I'd actually heard my guides on my own. I think I told you this one. I don't know if I did. So I'm apparently whenever I go to my kinesiologist, which is, I have about 5, and one of them I just am so open to and I feel so trusted around her.
It's the one in Melbourne.
The one in Melbourne. I literally fly to her.
Yeah. Guys, she loves this kinesiologist.
Love her. I speak about it all the time.
Yeah. She is sponsored actually in this one. No, I'm kidding.
No, she's so up. You wouldn't even find her. She doesn't even have a social media profile at all.
Wow.
But anyway,
love that.
complete word of mouth. So, anyway, sometimes I literally would send her a text message and be like, babe, I need a meeting with you now. And then just from that text message, she'll be like, fuck, you're so open. Your guides are just coming to me like so easily through a text message. So anyway, so I come out of this session, a big session, my biggest session of my life, my biggest breakthrough of my life ever. And towards the end, she goes, babe, your guides want you to get into, do you know what human design is? And I was like, nah, I know a little bit about it. She's like, you guys are just saying to study it. Anyway, that changed my life, human design, and studying my own, but also understanding other people's.
Yeah.
And
What are
then
you?
I'm a manifestor.
Right.
Yeah, so we equal 9% of the population. You're a projector.
Yeah.
So you equal 20%. Yeah, interesting. I love project. Do you know manifestors and projectors are meant to be like the closest besties? Yeah.
Oh, we are the closest besties.
We are.
Yeah. I love that. Cool.
So where was I? Oh yeah, so guides telling me, do manifest, get into human design, rah, rah, rah. And then what happened was last year, rather than, I typically, whenever I want to hear a download or hear my guide speak, I usually would go through my kinesiologist.
Yeah.
But then last year, things started shifting for me where I was like, I can start hearing them on my own.
Yeah, babe.
For the first time.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so what did they say? What did they, how did you hear them?
So now it's, I turns out I'm very auditory.
Auditory, yeah.
Is that the
You're
word?
clairaudient.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, babe. I literally just filmed a podcast about psychic development. There you go.
Is
And
that
that goes into all of the clears. So yeah, we've got different clears that do different things. We've got different spirit guides that do different things as well. So if you're really clairaudient, so you can actually really hear your guides, it means you've got a really strong clairaudient guide. Do you know what they look like?
No idea.
Okay, we can do a process. Yeah. Not right now, but like later.
Let's do one.
We're friends. We're hanging out there.
Okay, cool. So thank you for that, by the way.
You're so welcome.
So yeah, so I just started hearing like different people. So now I can like tune into it very,
Whenever
very
you
well.
want.
Only, and I've identified only when I'm not working in my business. when I'm working on.
It's the spaciousness, right? Like I feel like when you're working in your business, like you're back to back doing things. When you've actually got a little bit of spaciousness, it's when they've got time to flow in.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
That would make sense of why I'm like, whenever I'm just sitting with myself on those days.
Yeah. Or like even like those 2 Mondays ago, you had those massive fucking epiphanies, and that's when you messaged us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you had spaciousness. Or even like, remember I had those 4 days off?
Yeah.
Those 4 days off, I had so many spirit messages because I had time, like guides actually had time to come and talk to me. I wasn't just like rushing around. Yep.
Do you think
That's why it's
business
so
owners
important to sit and meditate.
Do you think business owners do that enough? Do you think they give themselves enough space?
No way. And so literally I was just talking about this on the last podcast that I filmed, is that to be able to have that really strong connection or to really tune into our intuition, it's so important to give yourself the spaciousness and to also just meditate, because it's by silencing your mind, or your mind not overthinking, overcomplicating things, overthinking things. I've got to do this, think about the future, think about the past, which is very 3D. So 3D is thinking very fast, future pace, behind side. When you're literally in it full alignment and thinking about the present, that is the 5th dimension. Also, just side note, your top says 5th phase. Lol, paradise 5th phase. And I literally, it was the first thing I saw. And I'm like, 5th dimension, oh my God, she's in the 5th dimension. Guys, I'm a 5D business coach. You know, like
everyone.
Yeah. And it's just so funny.
Yeah,
So funny, the little things in life that you didn't even like, the synchronicities, right? And so, if you were to give someone piece of advice to start their property portfolio or investments, what would you say? It's the first thing.
Don't think small.
Oof, I love it. Okay, great.
Just ask, how can I, universe?
How can I universe, how can I be a multi-millionaire? Universe, how can I be a multi-millionaire? I always ask myself that. And what is a way for people to get in contact with you?
Best way is probably just reach out to me on Instagram. Hey.
Instagram? Yeah. And the links will be down below, guys.
Yeah.
And so if you could help people on their journey, I post another piece of advice. What is something that they can do in your field with you right now? I think your TikTok's fucking amazing. You've got heaps of like really good pieces of value and advice for people on TikTok. What other
TikTok
pieces?
And my reels, yeah.
Yeah.
First thing I would do if I was a business owner right now and I wanted to get into the property market, first thing I would do is I'd go to my broker and say, how much can I borrow right now? What's my maximum borrowing capacity?
Nice.
And then work backwards from that and go work with your accountant to make sure that you're paying yourself enough to do that.
Yeah,
and don't assume also that you need $1 million to buy a property. Most of the properties I buy, guys, are between, right now in the top 1% suburbs, are between about $300,000 to $400,000.
Yep.
You don't need to earn that much.
Yep.
You don't need that much cash.
No.
You can get started. And especially if you have a home already,
Yeah.
if you've got the equity there, boom. It's
Easy peasy Japanesey,
start
guys.
there, guys. Yeah.
Well, beautiful human, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I've loved sharing a conversation.
Yes.
And a little bit of a lull. Thanks so much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to say to our listeners?
Business owner, if you're a business owner or if you're an employee, please do yourself a favor and start investing for future you.
Yeah. So fam, go to the links down below. You can check out me and Liv. Also to go and leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I am giving one person each month a free coaching session. So all you need to do that is literally screenshot, bam, both reviews, send me a DM and my team will be picking something out. I will see you on the next podcast. I have channeled through 2 incredibly powerful and potent group coaching programs. One is for the entrepreneurs who want to get to consistent 10K months, learn everything that I have in the systems and the back end of my business, how I've helped other entrepreneurs scale to 10 and 20 and 30K months, how I've been able to cultivate so much certainty in my business by my spiritual tools, my spiritual gifts, and also the strategies and the structure to actually making your goals a real reality. So that is Business Container 1. Taking you quantum, baby. It's called reclamation of the soul's purpose. The second business container is called Cash Codes and Clients. This is for all the entrepreneurs who are already at, that 20, 30, 40K months, and they are wanting to scale beyond multi 6 figures and 7 figures. This is strategy, structure, spiritual fucking woo-woo codes, 5th dimension. There is 3 live events and 9 months of full support of me channeling in your business. If you would like to learn more, the links are down below. Both options have payment plans, finance available, and also pays in fulls, of course. Babes, if you want to work with me, if you feel the call to work with me and learn more about my magic, please DM me now at Natalie Patterson Coaching or the Ascension Codes _.